Hey, this is Rock Leach with Social Fire, and in this video, we're going to talk about a woman's nightmare church experience where she was being watched by her father's friend and judged by others. Oh, you don't want to miss this video. I want to go ahead and start this video out by pointing out that this is a conversation and we're still talking about different levels of church hurt. And I'm looking at this experience that she had, and it was a very traumatic experience. Now, I want to go ahead and take a look at this, but the problem with this experience is that this happens far too many times in church. This happens way far too many times in church. But let's get into the video. Let's go.
You can go to church and hear an amazing sermon, but what is going to impact people the most is always watching others live a life that God preaches. And one time I remember I was in church and one of my dad's friends came to me and was like, I can tell when you take the communion, you do not have God in your heart. Brother, lock your eye and pray, because I couldn't understand why you're watching me take the communion when you're supposed to be doing your own thing. And try being pregnant without being married. Obviously not conventional due to faith. I understand that. But being judged and looked at like, from women who have 3 baby fathers. This is why a lot of the generation, and I've had this conversation over and over with tons of people, they're like, I'm just so turned off by the church. Like, I believe in God. I believe in faith. I just can't mess with religion. People aren't having the right ways to indoctrinate people to want to come there because you're just judgy. The people in the church turn so much people away from coming to church. And I feel like, especially a lot of the older generation, they do not realize that. Like, because them say, oh, we go to church every Sunday, but by the time you're in the parking lot, you're there on the phone with your brethren, suing about this gossip and this body, this, like, live an exemplary life, okay? What is going to impact people more is showing them that you live a life of what God preaches more than just telling them what God says.
I like that she actually started this out by saying that we should be able to watch people by the life that they live. And I do agree. I do agree, and let me explain. I agree because there are a lot of people who don't read the Bible. I have several friends who are not of the faith, and I know they're not reading the Bible. But I know if I'm living by the word and they don't read the Bible, if they are watching my life and I'm living by the word, they in fact are reading the Bible because they're watching me. That's why it's important for us to be examples, just always being examples, because you never know who's looking. And your walk with God could encourage someone to become a part of the faith. And I've had this to happen with atheists and different things like that. Sometimes it don't work immediately when I'm trying to talk to them. That's why whenever I'm doing evangelism, I take the posture of either I'm the gardener or the harvester. Now, some people are not going to be one at that moment. But what I do is that I still remain friends with them, show them level of love, and they're watching my life to see if I'm living by if I'm practicing what I preach. And many times that'll be what brings people over. But this needs to happen inside the church, as this young lady is pointing out. Yes, I agree with her. It's very important. She actually said that we should be able to watch others like they live. Now, I get what she's saying. But on the other end of that, that some people watch you just for a level of judgment. They're only watching you for a level of judgment to criticize what you're doing. And let's be honest. I looked at this because she said her father's friend, but then when she reacted, she said, brother. That lets me know that this is a man. And as a father, I don't know what man I want talking to my daughter. He should be coming talking to me, unless I'm thinking this man was really trying to shoot his shot. I think he was trying to shoot his shot at her, and he wanted to come off as a brother who was in tune with her, because how do you know what's in her heart? Honestly, that's a bit much, brother. How do you honestly know what's in her heart? I think this brother was trying to shoot his shot and he was coming off way deep and just making all kind of mistakes. Brother, you have lost. You can't do that. You can't do that. because it's bad to go to a woman and tell her, I see in your heart that you're not where you need to be with God. Now, I know some people are going to be different with me and say discernment, because what he did was he did exactly what she said. Now she feel like, why are you watching me in that moment? Why are you watching me? Well, young lady, I'm gonna tell you why he watching you, because I saw the ring. I had to slow the video down to see if she had a ring on her finger, and looks like she may be at least engaged by now. But based on this story, she couldn't have been married, because if she was married, it seemed like her husband would have said something, because that's a conversation you take to your husband. And because me, if somebody came to my wife and said when she's taking communion, she doesn't seem like she's close to, that's a whole nother conversation. I'm just gonna go and be real with you. I'm just gonna go ahead and be real with you. So, based on a lot of things that I'm looking at, I'm trying to make sure that I understand maybe some background. That's why I'm bringing a lot of these different scenarios into play with this, because I'm just trying to make sense. So let's just stay on what it is. She feels like she's being watched now. Why are you watching me? I believe he's watching you because he's trying to holler. He's trying to take his shot. That's what's going on. That's why he's watching you. In my opinion, y'all can let me know if y'all feel like there's something different down there. But the thing that she went on to talk about was being watched, and I know that probably became traumatic for her. And she seems like she has a level of understanding when it comes to the faith. She does have a level of understanding, because she said that she has a level of faith as it pertains to premarital sex. She talked about being being pregnant, in church and not being married, something to that degree. So she understands that that's already a level of, I mean, she understands what the faith is as far as that is concerned. But that wasn't her issue. Her issue was she's made the mistake and she's being judged by other women who have three. Not only have they made the mistake, but they done made it three times going on. They batting three times, still ain't got it right. Now, I don't want to. Let me slow down just for a moment to make sure this is not a level of indictment on ladies who get pregnant out of wedlock. I myself am a product. It happened. It happened. And I'm gonna go back to this and just reiterate on this, because some people try to make that the issue. That's not the issue. The sex is the issue. The sexual morality is the issue, that you didn't wait till you got married. The child produced from it is not the issue. Now, I had somebody try to get deep on me. I'm not even, you can't just say, you can't just label everything. And so let's be specific about the sin. Let's be specific about the sin and not call the child produced the sin. That's not the sin. But looking at it, I understood what she said, and this gave me an understanding that she has a level of faith, and she understood that because of what was going on, pregnant out of wedlock and stuff, that people gonna have a difference there. But this was bad, because now she feel like she's washed, and people are being hypocritical. Now, I want to share this with everybody. Hypocrites happen everywhere, but it happens in the church too. You're going to see some people, rather than function from love, they're going to come from a place of judgment. I'm going to say this, rather than saying, hey, because of my testimony, now I've clearly made this mistake, because I got one, two, and three sitting right here next to me. Clearly, I've made this mistake. I have a level of compassion to you, because I see where you are. And rather than judge you, I'm going to have compassion on you, because I see the reflection of me in you. And I'm going to be to you what I wish somebody would have been to me. Now, I hope that y'all got that. I hope that y'all got that. But rather than do that, there are some folk that come with a level of judgment to try to make you feel bad about where you are. Let's be honest. All of us come from somewhere. But why not use your testimony to help other folk overcome? I've been in this bad place. I've been where you are. And not only I been there, but I know how to get out. And while I'm getting out, and I'm going to explain to you how not to get back here, I'm going to have compassion on you where you are. That's not an excuse for the sin. No, we got to deal with that. You need to repent to God. That's going to be between you and Jesus. But along the way, I want to have compassion on you and be an example to you that, hey, I've been where you are and I made it out. So I want to be to you hope for the future, encouragement that you're going to make it out of this. Rather than be that for people, you got ignorant folk that's in church that like to point the finger, that like to try to lessen your light to make they already dim light look brighter. I don't like people like that. That's hypocritical. And where I'm at, I call it what it is. That's hypocritical. That's not good. people doing that, like to try to call out your issues. But I want to know ultimately, what do you think about this? I want you to jump down in the comment section and let me know what you think about hypocrites inside of the church. I also want you to let me know if you think this brother was really just trying to shoot his shot when he said that, I don't feel like God is in your heart, that kind of stuff. I want to know. Jump in the comment section and let's go. Well, that didn't do like I wanted it to do. Let's go.